Hey guys, how all of you beautiful people are doing? And yes, this is the next part of Life as Goku. Kris Lander is the definition of average. Average student going to an average school, living an average life until one day a trunk kissed him a little too hard and he is thrown through the void. When he wakes up, he finds out that he is in the body of Son Goku. With his new life, he will be anything but average and rise to the top until he becomes a god. So let's start without any delay. The sleep was one of the most refreshing ones she had in a long time. She felt like she was drifting in space as a feather. Free and relaxed with no worries in the world. Opening her heavy eyelids, she really didn't want to wake up from her dreamland. But when she felt the heat on her back and meaty arm around her waist, she couldn't go to sleep any longer. Putting her hand on one wrapped around her, she finally recalled the vivid memory of yesterday's events and once again turned beet red. Inside of her, she felt full and fulfilled with love. Realizing what it actually was, she slowly removed the hand that gave her a lot of comforts and went to the restroom right next door. Looking at herself in the mirror, her long hair was disheveled and some of her makeup was smeared. She felt something damp in her nether region, so she looked down to see her wet panties. She saw the contents of said panties and was shocked. She grabbed some tissues and started wiping all of it away while thinking about last night. I can't believe we did it last night. Wait until she hears about this. She was thinking to herself while looking at the mirror, sort of like a pep talk. She did notice that her skin got a little bit smoother and brighter than before. Closing her eyes to recollect herself, she could not contain the excitement she was holding. After so long, I finally have the perfect boyfriend. It was right in front of me the whole time. Bulma yelped when she felt something wrap around her chest. Seeing her lover's hands and warmth from behind, she relaxed and looked up to face him. Morning sunshine, did I wake you up? Goku replied with a short acknowledgement before going in for the kiss. Bulma was pleasantly surprised by the attack from her front and followed suit. What she totally did not expect was the attack from below, making her see some stars. For the past 4 days leading up to the tournament, they didn't separate from each other for long, doing it like rabbits. From the restroom to the dining hall, they did the deed everywhere they could. Bulma at this point was so exhausted from the constant workout that she actually looked forward to the martial arts tournament happening any longer, and she wouldn't have any support for her legs. On the day of the tourney, Bulma was putting the finishing touches on her makeup that was recently smeared before a doorbell rang, alerting her. Goku, can you please get the door? Goku, with his GI on ready to go, went to the front door to see who it was. Seeing Shi on the other side of the door, he opened it to give her a big welcome. Bulma, are you ready to go and see Goku? And as shocked as Bulma was when she first saw Goku's adult form, stood there paralyzed. Goku again chuckled at the overreaction and stepped forward to hug her. Shi, I missed you. Shi hugged back, but while she was doing so, felt something leaking from her nose. Bringing her hand up to her face and touching the spot, she saw dark red liquid on her fingertips. Now she brought her whole hand and furiously wiped all the blood away before they could separate. Hey Goku, you got really tall. Did you just come by before the tournament like last time? Remembering that she went to visit her dad's newly built castle, he calmly responded like it was no big deal. I got her about a week ago. I heard you went to your dad's place, so we barely missed each other. Stunned, then confusion, then anger were the emotions that phased through her face like a slideshow. Completely ignoring Goku, she stormed past him and to Bulma's area of the house. He could hear distinct yelling coming from the other side of the house. "Why didn't you tell me he was here?" "Ah, she, I can explain. Wait, I just did my Maku dash." Goku at that point just shrugged his shoulders and waited inside the car to wait until the girl fight stopped. Dash. The car ride to the fighting grounds was no doubt awkward for everyone involved as Goku sat between two bickering women. He zoned out of their conversation until the tournament grounds came into view. Stepping out of the hovercar and onto the sidewalk, she immediately went to his side and hugged his arm. "Whoa, she, that was unexpected." Truly caught off guard, he stumbled a bit before looking at the young girl for an explanation. She, get off of him. You are hogging my space." Instead, his heated girlfriend came into play and told she off. "Yeah, she, I mean, isn't this a little too close? I don't know if you know, but Bulma and I got together recently, so you shouldn't do this." "Wait, you didn't tell him, Bulma?" "No, I didn't. You need to tell him." "Why would I tell him?" "Wait, what?" Goku was finally tuning into one of their arguments as he was genuinely confused at the situation. They did not get further into their discussion when they heard an old familiar voice wave at them. "Hey, is that you, Bulma and she? Wait, is that Goku?" Coming from the direction of the tournament grounds, Roshi, Launch, Oolong, and Pua strode up to them in their sleek umbrellas. "What's up, you guys? Glad to see you all doing well. Where are the others? Wow, my boy, you have grown tremendously on your training trip with Kami. Bulma and she have as well. You three aren't the same kids as you were when I met you so long ago." "Hey yo. We all met up right now. Look at how much we have improved." Then Krillin, Kyoutsa, Yamcha, and Tien walked into the picture with their wacky new attire. Their power seeped out into the open, alerting any competent fighter to stay away from them at all costs. "Wow, you guys look great. I can't wait for the matches coming up. I am pumped up already." They were just as shocked as the others with Goku's transformation. If Kid Goku was already so powerful, how much will adult Goku be with God's training? Hey Goku, I just want to let you know that we have been training our butts off with that gravity belt that Bulma made. We have been seeing leaps and bounds with our training. Why, you didn't use the belt in conjunction with Kami's training, did you?" "No, I didn't, not even once. I was training on some more important stuff." Before he could elaborate to Yamcha's query, the tournament's host voiced boomed over everyone, telling them that sign-ups are closing soon. "Guess we have to go." The Z fighters had a certain spring to their step while traversing through the abnormally large crowd. Getting in the line like before, they went up to the booth to sign up when they noticed the mass were whispering to each other. Goku couldn't care less about what they were whispering about and signed himself up for the tournament. Looking over his shoulder when he felt someone train their eyes on him, he saw a green person with elf ears and a turban looking at him with a challenging stare. When the others noticed, all of them started having Vietnam flashbacks to the days where they were nothing but dirt in front of someone just like him. "Don't worry guys, I can take him on." They then saw Goku and the wall that he represents against their enemies. With his training with God, surely he could not lose. The preliminaries were as uneventful as always, with Kyoutsa mixing and distributing to different tournament blocks. Something strange happened, at least to the Z fighters. The people who fought Goku and some of the Z fighters instantly forfeited the match. In fact, Goku's entire block that he was supposed to fight, all resigned, leaving him time to observe the other fighters and their training over the years. From his acute sense, he was able to determine that Tien was able to reach 4x in gravity while the others were able to at least achieve 3x. Gravity manipulation and its effects really snowball in later levels, making it easier and easier to advance once you get used to it. That is all for the preliminaries. Can all the qualifiers please gather around me? The blonde announcer was back better than ever, pretending like 3 years ago was just a bad dream. Goku. It has been a long time and you have grown so much taller. I want to thank you for what you did to me all those years ago, and I hope you win in this tournament once again. Piccolo snorted while Goku awkwardly smiled at the man's public display of bias in front of the competitors. After that, everyone pulled from the box in the announcer's hands, gaining their match number. Match 1, Krillin vs. Yajirobe. Match 2, Yamcha vs. Piccolo. Match 3, Goku vs. Tien. Match 4, Kyautsa vs. Shen. For the first match of the tournament, we have Krillin from the right corner. Once again wearing his turtle hermit merch, the independent monk has come up on stage once again to try his hand in the pot. On the left corner, we have a new face on the scene, Yajirobe. Coming from deep in the mountains, he is here to show all the city folk what the wilderness has done to him. Let the first match start. The announcer announced the first match and stepped out of the arena, allowing the two contestants to face each other. Hey Shishi. Isn't that the guy that we met when we were out looking for the Dragon Balls? Bulma got a closer look at this Yajirobe guy that sounded familiar and realized that they had met him before. Oh yeah, I remember him. Dash. Start of flashback. Beep. 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 The radar says that the Dragon Ball should be around here. Bulma was cutting through some trees with an adventurous garb on, while Shishi also wore the same attire on her flank. Just a couple more oomph. What the? Bulma walked right into what she thought was a yellow rock all of the sudden. Stumbling back, both she and Shishi tripped over themselves to the ground. Who is it? Not fazed at all, the yellow rock appeared to be a man with a sword hanging from his waist. With wild, unkempt hair, he looked down at the two girls that were trying to stand up. What are you doing just laying on the ground there? I'm walking here. You two are the ones who disturbed my nap. I should be asking what you two are doing here. Logic on either side wasn't really sound at all, making the whole argument worthless. Bulma was about to go on until her eyes got blinded by a reflecting coming from the guy's necklace. Seeing the Dragon Ball hanging like a shiny ornament on an ugly Christmas tree, she had to stop herself short. That is the last Dragon Ball, and just before the World Martial Arts Tournament started. Hey, I really need the thing on your neck. I have been looking for it for a long time. What, this thing? Yajirobe unhooked the strings and dangled it over Bulma's hand, only to snatch it away when she clasped it. What do I get for it? I found this a couple of weeks ago, and from what I know around these parts is finders keepers. Yajirobe had a smirk on his face from the extortion. Maybe the useless ball could net him a BJ if they are desperate. The smug look turned into one of shame when his stomach growled quite loudly as if it knew of its audience. How about I give you a year's worth of food? Bulma's smile grew wider when the short man agreed, pretty easily excited at the prospect. Throwing down a capsule, a refrigerator popped out of the smoke, capturing the young man's attention. Hopping onto her hoverbike, the two sped away to their house, not looking back. Opening the large fridge, he saw a very stocked fridge full of ingredients and meat. What? This isn't a year's worth, this is barely a week worth. Those scammers. End of flashback. didn't know he was much of a fighter. Bulma concluded the flashback that the two had of the guy that had left a small impression on them. Yajirobe burst towards Krillin with a wild demeanor. The trained martial artist analyzed his movement and moved according to them, blocking the fist coming for his head. He went for a headbutt from an egg to a hedgehog. Thinking that his endurance will hold up, Yajirobe angled his head to dull the impact and waited for it to come. When it did, it came hard and strong. Sporting a huge new bump, Yajirobe sunk to the ground a couple of centimeters while gritting his teeth. What the F***ck is this strength? I only came here to find that girl to pay me for that ball I gave her. Seeing the kick coming for his rib, Yajirobe was able to block with his other hand. Both appendages of opposite sides were in his grasps. He used brute strength and pushed forward with the momentum he had. Krillin tried as hard as he could to keep a foot with his one leg, but he was getting closer and closer to the ledge, with Yajirobe finally feeling like he had a chance. One step away from being disqualified, one last hurrah pushed Krillin out of the ring, but instead of falling like Yajirobe that he would happen, the little man started to float in the air like magic. Looking up in despair, he saw Krillin's shiny head once more before his nose caved in from the impact. And the winner is Krillin. For the next match, we have come back once more with his former schoolmates Yamcha. Will the fan favorite rise on top today, or will he plummet like every other time? On the left corner, we have Demon Jr., who looks uncanny to the Demon King Piccolo appearance 3 years ago in this tournament. Maybe it's his son avenging his father by challenging Goku, or maybe he will conquer the world like his papa. Let the second match begin. Yamcha got chills down his spine when looking into the eyes of Junior. Reminded him too much of how useless they all were against the might of the Demon King. Are you not going to move, Bug, or am I? Yamcha geared himself up. He has trained hard these last 3 years. He is not the man that he was before. And the winner is Demon Jr. The audience felt it too much pity when they looked at the down form of Yamcha on the ground. He didn't have any outward injuries, but the whites of his eyes showed his unconsciousness. Despite showing off his new baseball move, the Spirit Ball, Junior was able to move behind him though the erratic ball. Yamcha was unable to retaliate to the insane speed and was knocked down with just a karate chop to the neck. The announcer was hyping up Piccolo's strength, knowing that he will advance to the final round. Yamcha really did get a lot stronger in the gap of 3 years, so this Demon Jr. is more powerful than I expected. Tien was observing the fight with the others in the back. Piccolo walked past them, bumping Tien's shoulder, making him fall over easily, like proving a point. He is powerful, but I don't think you should be looking at his match but your own right now. Goku reached out a hand and helped him up. Just as Tien brushed off the dirt that accumulates on his butt, their names were called out to step into the ring. From the right corner, we have the previous school member of the infamous Crane Hermit School, Tien Shinhan. He came in second place in the last tournament, losing to Goku, who was crowned the champion. Will he avenge himself, or will he be walking away once again? On the left corner, we have the previous champion of the World Martial Arts Tournament, Goku. He had an enormous growth spurt from when we last saw him, but hopefully, his strength has also gone through a growth spurt as well. Let the third match begin. I know our strengths are probably not even, but I still wish you use everything you got. Tien spoke while jumping forward with an incredibly serious face on. All 3 eyes were trained on the newly adult Goku, waiting for him to move. Instead of the standard battle that he was expecting of attack and counter, Goku was the only one attacking at all. To stop the TN's momentum, Goku did a fast high kick that left as fast it came. Not stopping for a second, he jumped up with one leg and did a kick with his entire body supporting him. TN was able to dodge the first relatively easy, but the second kick was too fast for him. The kick barely touched his cheek but left a small scratch to show how powerful it was. Landing smoothly, he then did rapid punches to every part of his body. TN was too slow to keep up and it all stopped when he was punched in between the neck and chest. He flew back but was able to control it somewhat with his flight. When he stabilized himself, he decided to fire back with a risky play by making both of his fingers glow, shooting the Doden rays at the spots that Goku once was. The beams were not coming fast enough and TN completely forgot that he could win when someone rams a fist in your stomach. Training for 3 years under insane pressure, literally and figuratively, allowed TN to achieve great boons in strength. But Goku was just too powerful for him to handle. And it's not just pure strength anymore like he felt the previous times he was outmatched. This time there was something else that supported him and wormed its way through TN's defenses that made him that much stronger. TN could not embarrass himself any longer and decided to give up right there. I give. And that is the match. Last tournament world champion easily defeats his rival from the last tournament. It looks like the Goku has far surpassed him and entered his own league. Will anyone dethrone him or will he take the crown once again? Moving on to the last match before the semi-finals, we have a returning contestant that quite the crane school with his partner TN, Kyautsa. His opponent is one of surprise, one of absolute ordinary. Will the severe underdog beat the seasoned veteran? Let the match being. Everyone was of course confused at the prospect of one of them being in the tournament stage with someone who could probably kill him in a second. Nobody was expecting the brave man to charge headfirst the little albino man with no hesitation. Kyautsa expressionlessly pointed his finger at him and said the magic words. Doden Ray. The light yellow beam shot out and was about to hit the man on the bridge of his glasses. Until the image faded into an after-image of course. He appeared behind the flying man and tried to take him out with a swift blow. Instead, Kyautsa saw him coming and moved in the same direction of the attack. It looked like Shin just pushed Kyautsa the way he floated away. You are pretty good, too bad that you are only using your heightened body for your reflexes. Jumping up, he leveled the playing field looking right into the eyes of surprise. In fact, everyone was surprised that he could give one of the toughest opponents a run for his money. However, his jump didn't just even out their altitude, he went above and beyond literally. Taking an abnormally large breath, his chest expanded only to be released back into the air into Kyautsa's face. Jietozu tried so hard to brute strength through the wind but couldn't handle the sheer pressure. Crashing on the arena floor with a splat, the wind crushed the cheeks flat for a couple of seconds. Coming out from the daze of the situation, he had no time to react when he saw Shin coming down like a top. Bunching his muscles when the impact spewed dust everywhere. When the dust cleared, Shin was standing next to the down martial artist. He had a sliver of consciousness within him, but that soon died out when he heard the last words the announcer. It looks like Kyautsa is out for the count. The winner is Shin. TN ran up on stage to help Kyautsa. Picking up him, he gave the stank eye to Shin's smiling face. Good luck in the next round. Good luck. From what I gather, it's good luck that you lost in your round or else you would have to fight me. Not dignifying that with a response, he swiftly turned around and headed to give Kyautsa medical attention. Shin was about to walk back into the waiting area until the break was over when a strong arm held fast onto his. Kami-sama, why are you here? Do you doubt my strength? Goku talked while they were both still not looking at each other at all. That is not it, Goku, you have gone far past anything I set for you and even did your own thing for a little bit. It is just that you will not go so far as to kill Piccolo when I need you to. Shin from the very beginning saw that Goku for some reason did not want to kill him. No matter the reason, a seed of malice cannot cultivate and threaten the world. It doesn't matter if he lives or dies, what matters is what he does with his life. Who you are thinking about isn't a demon king, but a newborn who can still change. I am God with no evil inside of me. Piccolo is the manifestation of that evil. He and his children will carry that forever. With that, Shin forcibly pulled his arm back and went his merry way like they never talked. Goku wasn't too worried about Kami doing anything. The main thing that he was worried about is if the Mafuba will be a problem. Piccolo probably didn't learn the counter Mafuba because Roshi didn't reveal that card to him. Looking at the person in question, he was standing on stage with a very nervous Krillin. This is the start of the semi-finals between two very talented martial artists. Whoever wins this will move to the finals and have a chance to win the title of the world's strongest under heaven. This will be Krillin vs Piccolo. Let the match begin. I have been training for 3 years. I won't be thrashed around like last time. Krillin was raring to go, getting a little impatient to test his strength. That was what the last person said. Yeah, but that was Yamcha. Starting the match, both opponents clashed together in the center. Krillin was doing a good job keeping up with the green Yoshi, as he tried his hardest to use his small stature as an advantage and not a weakness. Ducking under his legs after the fist fight, he stopped his momentum with his hands when he held onto the ground right behind Piccolo. Thrashing out his feet like a horse, he made Piccolo fly towards the ring out. But everyone knows that at this point, ring outs don't really mean anything anymore. Piccolo quickly stabilized himself and did a sharp U-turn at rocketing speeds. Krillin had just stood up from his attack to be met with one of his opponents. Krillin thought that Piccolo was only going to go for a straightforward attack with the way he positioned himself and his speed. That is why he was truly surprised when his guard was completely useless to the extended arm that reached around it. Crashing onto the floor harshly, he thought that his skull was going to crack as the concrete did under him. Krillin finally remembered who he was dealing with. It was not some run-in-the-mill Bob or Bob, but the demon Piccolo's son. His thoughts came slow and muffled. In fact, his consciousness was already blurring when he felt both of his feet getting grabbed. Piccolo landed in front of Krillin where his feet were stationed and grabbed a hold of them. He then flipped Krillin out of the stage and onto the spectator stands. There you can see two people talking, not paying attention to fight at all. Hey lady, I finally found you. Last time we met you told me I would get a year's worth of food, but instead, I got only a week's worth and some other useless garbage. Yajirobe finally found Bulma after going through the crowd annoying a lot of people. Oh, it's you. That's why you are here. I knew you weren't strong when you got eliminated so quickly. I forgot you wild folk eat so much. I am not weak. It's just those guys are monsters. Anyway, I am here for that payment that you still owe me. Yajirobe wanted to get his food and leave as quickly as possible. The crowds annoyed him to no end. Well, I don't have your kind of year's worth, but I got an idea. Reaching into her pocket, she pulled up a small gadget that looked like a gun with a cone instead of a barrel. Aiming it at Yajirobe before he could do anything, she fired the gun. Everyone around her from the previous tournament remembered what that horrible thing did and quickly stepped back, leaving Yajirobe to his fate. What is that? Wait, what is happening to me? Yajirobe was shrinking as he was talking. He couldn't move as he was shrinking as he saw the world grow larger and larger. It was finally done when he was slightly smaller than the size of her phone. What did you do to me? Yajirobe's voice came out squeaky and cute, betraying his words and intentions. Oh, stop whining, will you? This way you can eat more for less. I will give you a fridge again, so don't eat everything like last time. Just click this button when you want to grow again. She tossed him a tiny button and capsule. His eyes lit up when the thought of doing everything while small dawned on him. But before he could reach out to his prize, the world around him started to get darker and darker. Looking up at the sun to see what was the problem, he instead saw a falling monk in orange come straight at him. Krillin's butt landed directly on the poor man. He felt like a hot dog, unable to move or protest at his situation. Bulma took one look at the sleeping Krillin and her, and she decided to move to the other side of the arena to get a better look. Here comes the second match of the semi-finals. Will the previous world champion be able to beat the surprisingly strong Shin that popped up out of nowhere? Let the match begin. Kami, I respect you and I am grateful for everything that you taught me, but unfortunately, I will have to beat you here. It was Goku's turn to show his mentor that everything he did wasn't in vain. Goku, as your master, I know of a weakness that even you may not know of. Good luck overcoming it. This was Shin's only chance to win. He knew Goku's monstrous strength will triumph, so he could only win with some leverage. And I know something about you too. Do you wish to know what it is? Shin leaned in to hear what weakness could he possibly have leaked out to his student. But before he could think anymore, his vision turned black as he fainted. Goku was in front of him and punched him right in the solar plex. Normally you wouldn't faint from the attack, but he twisted it in a way that would hit the sweet spot of his fainting. Goku's voice was coming from his afterimage, distracting the god as Goku did his top speed to do his attack. When Goku heard that Kami knew his weakness, he couldn't take any chances at that point. The only option was to end it fast and quickly. He only needs to wake up and see everything work out. And wow! What a knockout! The winner is Goku. Picking up the poor man who was dragged into this conflict due to pure luck, he set him down in the player stands and got ready for the next match. You are more powerful than I expected. Off to the side with his overhanging cape and turban, Piccolo was leaning against the side wall with his eyes trained on Goku. Didn't know the great Demon King would shake in his boots like his dad. Piccolo spat on the floor and left Goku with the fainted man to go up to the stage. The only thought that crossed his mind was vengeance to the highest degree. Goku let out a little snort in response. It was pretty fun teasing the big guy any way he could. There was only so much time he could delay before the crowd would get testy, so he turned around to face the music. Passing by his friends that were spectating, he asked him to look over Shin for him. Confused by the relationship that the two seemingly shared, they agreed to it, keeping the fainted man in their peripherals. We are finally here, ladies and gentlemen, the finals of the 23rd World Martial Tournament. All of your suspense and tension has led to his moment of who we will find out the strongest person under the heavens. On our left corner, we have the defending champion of the last tournament who will be doing his best to keep the title, Son Goku. On the right corner, we have the challenger, the underdog, Junior. Will he be stomped down and put in his place by the residing champion, or will he rise above and dethrone the king? Let's find out. Let the match begin. Let us put this 3-year grudge to rest, Son Goku. Piccolo instantly started to move to gain an advantage in the fight. Since he already showed this ability before, he didn't hesitate to extend his arms at insane speeds and latch onto both of his shoulders. Goku was about to pry those hands off of him, but by now retracting his arms, his entire body flew throughout the stage towards Goku. When he reached him, Piccolo kneed him the gut, lifting him up a little bit. He then slammed his fist on Goku's cheek to make him fly away. The heavy combo didn't seem to do much but put some dirt on his cheek as he flipped over and skid back, making a black streak on the floor. Piccolo knew that his overall power is weaker, so he didn't let up for a second in his run to make sure Goku didn't catch his breath. Unfortunately for him, he was one step too late. Timing it with Piccolo's fast arrival, he aimed and uppercut as a counter-attack. Unable to stop his momentum completely, he went with the direction of the punch to lessen the damage. It didn't feel like it did anything at all. He got launched incredibly hard in the air, but even though his body was stasis, his eyes were darting everywhere to catch a glimpse of his opponent. And Goku met his expectation when he appeared on his left side to continue the combo. Instead, Junior responded with a loaded fist when he saw the first coming to his face. Both attacks landed squarely at the same time and they both flew in different directions. Goku went up and eventually stopped on his own while Piccolo was sent straight down. He landed like a cat with one hand on the ground and veins bulging around his head. How is he so strong? Was all of my training in vain? Flashback. There is one of those fighters that my father could smother with his pinky. Looking through the window, teenager Piccolo Jr. was peering through the window of Yamcha's residence. He heard loud moans accompany him leaking to the open night, making Piccolo want to peek through. Oh, you like that? Well, take some more. Inside the apartment was an incredibly beautiful woman with a purple afro and lean muscle. Her attire was nearly non-existent as it consisted of very short leather extending from her shoes to her chest, covering the important parts. In her hands, it looks like a long black rope, a whip. King like that or. On the ground being lashed repeated on the butt was what looked like bondage and blindfolded Yamcha with an incredibly hard piece of meat. Despite its small length, it was, hard. That counts for something. Piccolo wasn't interested in the masochistic male psyche and started to look at what he came there for. He saw a white belt with a blue circle in the middle of it on a desk next to the window he was at. Using his long arms, Piccolo carefully yoinked the gravity belt and due to his rush, accidentally, grazed the lamp on the desk. Yamcha with his acute ears heard a very faint sound. He was extremely embarrassed by the situation and wanted to stop right there to investigate the situation. Wait, Ran fan, I think I hear. Quiet, slave. A whip of crack sprung from the dome, landed squarely on the small target resting in between his legs. He quickly forgot about the noise when liquid started to appear in copious amounts. And it wasn't blood. I've trained for nearly 2 years and was able to reach 4x gravity. He is still winning all the exchange with power to spare. You won't be able to win against this. Say your prayers. Piccolo, with no turban or cape from the fight before, crouched like he was able to pee off his pants and charged up his ki. Injecting ki to himself, he slowly grew larger and larger until he was 15 m tall. This is the end of you, Son Goku. How can you possibly beat me now that I multiplied my power? Taking up his challenge, he decided to put his training with Kami to use. What a better way to test his power on a respectable partner. Taking a deep breath, he closed his eyes and put out his hand like it was about to grab something. Slowly but surely, a chunk of his ki was being converted into a small round ball. What is Goku making? It looks similar to my spirit ball, but I can tell it has different properties. Yamcha was chatting a storm with the engrossed battle session. What? No way, he did it. Meanwhile, on the other side of the venue, Bulma clasped her hand over her mouth. They moved back to their original place with Krillin still lying on the floor. Because she felt bad, she decided to help the small guy a little. She fished out one of her spare capsules and clicked on it. Smoke came as usual, and what revealed was actually quite convenient for the situation. Lifting Krillin's head, she places the pillow that appeared under him and draped him in a nice cozy blanket. Nice, comfortable, and warm for everyone involved. Goku finally threw the ball of light that he created, but he didn't throw it like a weapon. He actually threw it outside of bounds in a high position to not be distracting. He turned to look at his creation. His pupils dilated into nothingness as he started to grow a monstrous size. Monkey features popped to and fro until his entire body resembled an ape. The top part of his GI and shirt ripped open easily, but strangely, the bottom part of the GI didn't, as they stretched and stretched to match the size of its host. Standing at the same height as Piccolo, the two did another stare-off in their new forms as titans in the world of battle. He actually created something from my notes. He mastered the blood's waves to turn into a great ape. Hey Bulma, what are you doing? A teenage Bulma was interrupted from her work when a short, spiky-haired Saiyan walked into the room with a towel. It looked like he just freshly showered as he wiped the water dripping down his hair. Bulma, however, even after hearing his voice, only stopped for a couple of seconds before continuing what she was doing. If you are looking for an update on the gravity belt, I am almost finished with it. Just give me 3 more days before it is ready to be used. I actually came here for something else. This time Bulma stopped her work, turned around, and gave Goku her undivided attention. Do you remember the Saiyan book from a couple of weeks ago? Bulma gave Goku's answer with an obvious yes. Something that outrageous could not leave someone's mind even if they wanted to. Well, I want you to do me a favor if you want. Inside the book, it talks about these things called blood's waves. I want you to study them more and see what it is about. Those things, huh? I remember when I read the book to get more than the summarized version you read out to us, I keep seeing that word pop up to and fro, curious to look into something like that. The book was pretty robust, detailing everything one needs to know about the Saiyan race. When Goku asked if the others would ever want to borrow it to read, they all declined and said that his summary sufficed. Now it sits in his bedroom in Capsule Corp when it isn't used by Bulma, her dad, or occasionally she. Goku raised his eyebrow when Bulma started to get lost in her own world about what blood's waves could possibly be used for. Sure, I will work on finding more about it when I have time. Bulma waved Goku off to finish her project at hand. The deadline was in 3 days, so she is in a time crunch. Thanks, Bulma. End of flashback. Thanks, Bulma. Goku said a few words in a slightly deeper voice that was appropriate for his size. The bottom half of his GI stayed with him thanks to some modification with Kami's clothes beam. His eyes were filled with unbridled rage, but deep down inside he was getting calmer and calmer by the second. This was the first step in mastering the ape transformation, and that was what he was doing in Kami's lookout for the majority of the time. The key exercises were easy since he already had the basics, and they taught him more basic martial arts. In between those lessons, he would take out Bulma's notes that he snatched before he left for Kami's and study them. Luckily Bulma simplified it a little for him to understand, and with his knowledge of their properties already, he was about to replicate the power ball that Vegeta used to turn into a great ape. He was barely able to create the technique for the 3-year mark, and with all the great ape training that he has been doing monthly, this technique was actually viable. Now he only needed a test dummy, and what better test dummy than the one in front of him? Besides Yamcha, that is. Ha 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 ha. Who knew that you are also a monster just like me? You are an actual monkey who thought that growing as big as me will change the outcome. I will show you how much stronger I am than you in this form. Piccolo started to hysterically laugh at the prospect of fighting a giant monkey, but he decided to humor the lad. The audience this time was oddly calm about the situation. No one was screaming bloody murder or nothing. They just backed away to give the two more space to fight. The people that came here were either here when Goku first turned into a great ape or saw it on the internet. They just thought it was Goku's trump card like last time, and they wouldn't be hurt from the after effects. Amidst the crowd, there was Bulma looking away from the fight to look at the still sleeping Krillin on the floor and weird thrust that was originating from his butt area. At this point, Bulma felt bad for the small man and decided to help him so she could get back to watching the fight. He was in this uncomfortable position for long enough, and he needs the rest after what he has been through. So, she reached into her pocket and grabbed a capsule. She pressed the button on it, and what came out was perfect for this exact scenario. Here you go, this should help. Lifting Krillin's head up, she slid in a small pillow under so he could stop resting on the hard floor. After that, she went to his side and reached for the second item. With one smooth whip, she neatly placed a blanket on top of the monk, covering him from the neck under in a soft wrapping. This blanket was specially designed to keep the heat in and was super soft. With the wind blowing heavily on Krillin's head, his head will be cool while everything in the blanket will be nice and cozy. Looking back up at the match, they have already started, and there was even more turbulence with all the wind blowing from their giant punches. Being as big as they are, you can't move too much or they will get out of bounds, so all they can do is attack and block. Why won't you go down? Piccolo thought he had it in the bag. Revenge, conquest, all the girls on the planet, if it wasn't for this one wild monkey. Goku thought it was time to finish the match. He was just standing still, and the barrage of attacks didn't faze him one bit. Grabbing one of the hands that were attacking him, he lifts Piccolo's entire body and slammed him on the ground like he did his father. He crashed where the audience was a few moments earlier before they stepped back, spooking the ones in the front. Then he was lifted up and slammed, but on the other side of the arena. This happened back and forth with just the right amount of strength so he wouldn't faint. Bringing up the mangled Piccolo to his eye level, he said one more thing before he was going to send him off. Puny devil. You are not your dad, that was the incarnation of evil. You are who you are, not the Demon King nor the seed of evil. With those words, he started to swing him like he was a lasso high in the air so people wouldn't get hurt. Yaha! He threw Piccolo as far away as he could. His form disappeared in that direction after a couple of seconds. Piccolo needed a seed of doubt in his identity so that he could eventually grow as a person. If all hits the fan, he would be prepared anyways to permanently put him down. Goku turned to the power ball that was still shining brightly in the sky. It will naturally dissipate in a couple of more minutes as he is still a novice in the technique, but he decided to show off a little bit. Opening his mouth, he fired a small red laser right into the center of the ball. After a few more seconds, the power ball exploded with light just like a firework would. It sparkled all around the venue and dazzled the already dazed audience. Goku slowly shrank down to his original size in the middle of the cracked arena. When he got out of it, he started to pant incredibly hard. Shooting out a power ball was already draining enough, but transforming into a giant ape when he hasn't fully gained control over it makes you mentally exhausted. Everything was quiet, with the only noise being Goku's ragged breaths, Krillin's snores, and some weird noise from under his blanket that faintly sounded like a dying banshee. To quiet the noise, Bulma slowly pressed on the spot where it was coming from, avoiding the obstacle, and stopped when it was fully muffled. The awkward silence was unnerving for everyone. It was broken when Shi started to clap. It was a chain of events that sporadically started when the first person did it. Cheers and screaming started to erupt with the clapping as everyone was blowing their casket at what they just witnessed. They all came from the video that was viral online with Goku and Piccolo's battle. Turns out the strongest man alive was not just a hoax but the real deal. It was so loud that no one heard or reacted when the announcer announced the winner of the tournament. And the winner of the 23 Road World Martial Tournament is Son Goku. Everyone was crowded in a circle in the spectator area. In the middle of their circle was Krillin sleeping, and they all were discussing the various things that happen, like Yamcha losing his belt, Bulma and Goku dating, and Rosh's incident with Oolong when he transformed into Launch's panties to get in. Let's just say, they were both traumatized after it wasn't Launch who was the victim. Wow, you guys are dating, huh? I thought it would be you and Shi who would get together. I guess it isn't too late for that though. Wait, what? Pua just said something peculiar and seemingly no one thought it was strange. Before he could press on the subject or if he was hearing things, they all heard a sound coming from under them. Krillin stirred from his knockout after missing out on everything that happened. He looked up and saw everyone standing around him. He asked what happened and got the gist of it when Oolong explained it to him. Man, I miss out on everything. I must be the unluckiest one here to miss that battle. Everyone hummed their agreement that he indeed missed out a lot. I wouldn't say unluckiest. Bulma had to disagree on the subject. It was getting late and they all needed to get home and sleep. Krillin was about to stand up from his soft spot on the floor before his stomach rumbled intensely. He groaned when his lunch started to go lower and lower to the exit. Must be the beans I ate earlier. Hold on guys, I need to go the restroom. He clenched his cheeks to hold it in as long as possible as he stood up and ran straight towards the bathroom. Goku looked at Krillin for a little bit and saw something on his backside sticking out. A familiar chubby arm was sticking out of Krillin's rear, flailing for dear life. When Goku realized the destination that he was heading to, Goku gave out a prayer for his soul. May you rest in peace. Goku was chilling in Bulma's bed looking through his phone that he recently bought. I guess technically, it is now his room as well since they are dating and he practically sleeps there every day. It was night and they had just come back from the martial arts tournament with Shi and night was in full swing. He was just waiting for Bulma to come to bed, but she was taking awfully long talking to Shi about something. He heard the door open and put down his phone to look over at the arrival of the lady that he sleeps with. Only she came in, but someone followed her in looking as shy as she always looks. Shi. What are you doing here? And what are you wearing? Goku was more shocked about her outfit than what she was doing in their room. Both Bulma and Shishi were wearing matching skimpy underwear that really made their bodies pop out in arousal. Bulma in blue and Shishi in red, their bodies were getting closer and closer, never leaving Goku's eyes. Hey Goku. Shishi was feeling extremely embarrassed about the show that Bulma convinced her to put on. She said it will get Goku more feeling up for it, and by his lecherous gaze, her confidence twofolded. So Goku, Shishi here will like to join us tonight if you are okay with that. We can talk about it more tomorrow, but for now, we should get busy or it will be too late. Goku's mouth was gaping open and shut like a fish from the unexpected situation. Bulma took this chance to push him to accept by shoving her tongue in his mouth. Goku leaned in on the sweet kiss, making both of them close their eyes in happiness. They got so lost in their make-out session that they forgot the poor girl that was pouting to her side. Bulma noticed her and separated from Goku with some saliva forming a bridge between them. Go ahead, he is all yours. Hearing those words, Shishi turned Goku to face her and kissed him with all the passion that she has saved up. Their tongues waged war against each other while Bulma struggled to get Goku's shorts off. Goku stood up to help Bulma a bit while also holding on to Shishi, still kissing her as fiercely as she was. Bulma finally pulled down Goku's pants and his long penis nearly whacked her when it flopped up straight as a pole once it gained its freedom. Bulma slowly stroked him up and down, getting the big guy ready for the new arrival. Shishi stopped kissing Goku to look at what she was dealing with and gasped in surprise. It is as big as you said it was. Shishi couldn't stop staring at the giant cock and its beauty. Come down here and take a look firsthand. Bulma stood up and helped the nervous Shishi get down. She started to slowly stroke it as Bulma did before eliciting small grunts from its owner. Suck it. Bulma egged her on more, telling her to take it in her mouth. Shishi did as so, opening her mouth as big as she could take the head in her mouth. Her mouth was full and she felt like she couldn't take any more. She started licking and sucking what she had, getting under the skin while also stroking the excess. You won't get fed like that, silly girl, you got to go deeper. Bulma helped her friend out and slowly pushed Shishi further and further down to the base. She hit a roadblock when the tip hit her throat, but Bulma easily solved that problem by shoving her head all the way down to the base in one go. Goku let out a heavy grunt, looking down at Shishi's face hit pelvis. Looking at the initiator of this scenario, she had a look of glee on her face when doing what she was doing. She leaned toward and took Goku's mouth once again while also pushing Shishi in and out to pleasure the monster below. After their second kissing session with something extra ended, Goku felt something in his groin. You are really pushing her hard, this is her first time, right? Don't worry about it, I liked it when you did it. Besides, look at her face and legs, you don't leak like that if you aren't having fun. Looking down, the panties that Shishi still had on were soaked with some extra liquid going down her leg. The same was said with her mouth as saliva dripped down to her chin and fell on the floor with soft plops. Bulma went down also when she started feeling the light pulsating and positioned herself below where all the action was happening. Goku took over in pushing and Bulma started to suck on the delicate balls in turns. Getting closer and closer to finishing, Goku went faster and faster until he held Shishi right above Bulma. All of his private parts were being hungrily sucked, not seeing the light of the outside. Climaxing harder than he has ever before, he exploded inside Shishi's mouth directly inside her throat. She drank gulp after gulp, but with the sheer amount, she could drink and contain it all. Some were able to escape to the front when there was no room and started to leak from her mouth. Bulma saw this, stopped sucking on the still pulsating sack and berated Shi. "Can't believe you would lose some of this sweet juice." She proceeded to lick all the cum that came from her mouth until it was all gone. Goku let go of Shi and she fell on her butt with euphoria plastered on her face from the experience she went through. Bulma swooped in and stole a kiss from Shi. Her tongue explored her mouth and stole all the excess semen before leaving and going to Goku. "Lay down, it's her first time. It will be easier if she is on top." Goku climbed onto the bed and rested his head on the pillow. Following him, two stunning women followed him on the bed and both slowly stripped their underwear off for his enjoyment. After the strip show, Bulma placed Shi right before Goku's dick once again and urged her to on. Shi did not wait further and with her shaky hand, aligned her hole and plugged it with the tip of the hot pole. Bulma rolled her eyes at Shi's slow crawl once again and pushed her further down. When she reached the base, her legs lost all power and she fell face first on Goku's chest. Goku leaned in and slowly kissed her to distract her. Once that was successful, he started to slowly go in and out, only going faster when she was used to it. In the meantime, Bulma was slowly massaging Goku's balls, watching the two go at it. Feeling left out while hot and bothered, she moved forward and stood right above Shi and Goku's head. "Move over, it's my turn." Moving Shi's head out of the way, she plopped down her vagina right on Goku's mouth. Getting the message, he skillfully started to roam her pussy while Shi started to move and meet his thrusting. Shit, oh fuck. Things were getting blurry for both girls, but for Shi especially. Bulma's sex drive increased after having sex day in and day out before. Shi started screaming like Bulma did her first time, but Goku's mouth wasn't there to placid them. So Bulma did the only rational things and met Shi in the middle and kissed her again. It was right at this time that Shi stopped her movement and climaxed. Of course, Goku kept on going, making the sensitive vagina explode in pleasure. After a couple of more thrusts while the two girls made out in the center, Goku came inside of Shi making her climax again. Bulma also came at this time from the continuous sucking on her clit. Everyone calmed down a bit and relaxed in the same positions. Bulma sat up from Goku's face and helped Shi lay down when her legs didn't have the strength to do so. Seeing the leaking white jizz ooze out of her pussy forced Bulma to dig right into her meal. Shi squealed in shock as Bulma sucked everything Shi had in her. Goku sneakily went behind Bulma and shoved all of it in at once. Bulma didn't stop for a second, making Shi scream from the pleasure all over again. Goku woke up the next morning with two weights on each side of him. Opening his eyes, it returns himself to the surreal experience from the night before of debauchery when he saw the two girls laying beside him. It was only this week when he lost his virginity and now he has been doing it as much as he breathes. There needs some explaining to be done. Getting out of bed, without disturbing the two girls, he went to the kitchen to grab a bite to eat after doing a quick rinse in the bathroom. He made breakfast and waited on the couch for the girls to come down. Eventually, the two girls come down all freshened up and see Goku on the couch watching TV waiting for them. "Hey girls, we need to talk about last night." Goku turned off the TV and looked at them expectantly. Both of them looked at each other and sat next to Goku to explain to him from the beginning. "Do you remember when we found out that you were the last of your race from the Saiyan book?" Bulma gently explained. She was better at explaining the situation, so she took the lead. "Why yeah. You read that book a dozen more times than me." Goku had a faint foreboding at what they were going to say to him. He couldn't tell if he liked it or not. So we decided to both become your lovers after we found out the other had feelings for you. That way it is a win-win for everybody. We love you and you are able to revive your race. Besides, having sex with Shishi is super fun. She put her arm around Shishi and brought her close to her breasts. She blushed insanely hard with the memories from last night and pushed Bulma off of her to regain her breath. But how? This isn't something that is normal. Won't people disagree and ostracize us? Wait a minute. Goku then remembered the thing that Pua said to him at the tourney grounds. How it sounded so weird but said like it was normal. You don't mean? Looks like you figured it out. Yes, we used the wish for this to happen. What? You wasted a wish just for this? It wasn't wasted. This is something that is extremely important to us. We thought and talked about it forever. Bulma was ready for the backlash that Goku was going to unleash on her when he found out. This was the reason why they agreed to do it without him knowing, and Goku knew that. Goku sat back down from standing abruptly and started to really think about the situation. He rubbed the bridge of his nose and posed Bulma a question. What exactly did you wish for? He needed to know what he was dealing with and the limitation of the wish. Imagine explaining the others when a shadow dragon of this wish pops up. We wished for polygamy to be normal when it comes to you and only you. That way, people will see us as a normal thing while the act of polygamy is still unnatural to others. Wait, so you wished for everyone who sees polygamy as a problem, not a problem when regards to me. Goku was now realizing the scope of the situation. It technically doesn't span the entire universe but affects it all the same. Any being who interacts with him that is on a lower level than a reality-bending dragon god will see polygamy as normal. Yeah. I mean, it's not like you will be adding girls like a harem. Don't be so full of yourself, you are all for us. Not that we don't mind, even with Shishi around we still can't sedate your hunger for sex. Speaking of which, you owe me for doing this behind my back. I expect it to be good. Oh, it will. Shishi already started to unbutton his shorts and Bulma came to help. 6 months. You know, you didn't have to marry us so fast. Bulma complained at the fast wedding they were putting up. Shishi and Bulma were together planning the wedding in a week. Of course, the wedding was grand much to the protest of Shishi and Goku, but Bulma said she wouldn't have it any other way. Say that to the babies in your bellies. Besides, if I waited any longer, Old Man Ox King would chop my head off. Goku was helping move stuff that was too heavy for others to save some time. All invitations were already sent out to their friends, so everything was set. Yeah, no kidding, you horn dog. What did you think was going to happen with us doing it every day? I'm just surprised that the babies are 4 months old. I felt like I was pregnant the first day we had sex. Shishi enjoyed every second of it, but sometimes it's too much. Being bloated all the time isn't that great. Although they tried to contain the privacy of the wedding as much as they can, the news goes out and it became an internet sensation within minutes. As expected from the heiress of Capsule Corp and the recently popular Strongest Man on Earth. Videos of Goku from the tournament and his various fights displayed him at all his glory, making him visible to the public eye. Goku had to say that it was incredibly weird that the internet and news stations were covering his wedding of him marrying 2 people. Basically, everyone on Earth has been exposed and now thinks it is normal for him to be in a polyamorous marriage. The wedding was nice and sweet. The venue was too big for the number of people invited and too elegant for literally anyone there. News outlets and fanatics were desperately trying to get a scoop on the situation before, but the upgraded security system stopped them. Dr. Briefs calls it, Build Operation Blockade, Bob for short. Taking turns, they each said their vows to Goku while Goku did the same to them. He sealed it with a kiss and they were officially all hitched. You are one lucky guy, Goku. Having two beautiful women like that. I probably won't ever have anything close. Krillin was talking to Goku at the after party. The best man had a slumped shoulder and low self-esteem due to his height. Hey, chin up man. Think about it, you are like the second or third strongest human ever. Better than everyone on this planet. You worked hard, so don't think that you are useless, man. Yeah. You are right. They should be lucky to date me. Thanks, Goku, maybe you can be the best man at my wedding if I have one. Ha ha. Krillin's spirits got lifted from Goku's pep talk and clanked their glass together in a toast. I mean, look at Yamcha, if he's hitting a girl like Ran Fan then surely you can do better. They both looked in the direction of Yamcha and Ran Fan. Ran Fan seemed like she asked Yamcha to do something but refused. She immediately yelled at him, echoing it across the venue. He scurried along to go get her the drink that she wanted and came back at record speeds to give it to her. I don't really think that he is hitting that. Yeah, that looks like the world has not given Yamcha any breaks. They both shook their heads in amusement. What can you expect from him? That's my pupil right there. Marrying two hot chicks, I taught him. They told me that his D***CK is nearly as big as mine. Drunk Roshi had two blonde reporters in his arms. He was continuously groping them as they asked him questions. He was leading them to the back room and disappeared from sight. The two could still hear him from where they were standing. Since when have you known the two? You would like to touch it? Well, why didn't you say so? He then grabbed her hand and stuck it in his pants so deep that she completely missed the rod and touched the balls. How about you two? Please go stop him. On it. Dash. Fast forward. Goku was meditating in the gravity chamber. He felt that he was about to make a breakthrough any second. It was like on the tip of his tongue. Goku honey, come over here and watch over the baby for me. I need to finish my research. Bulma's voice reverberated throughout the chamber. Bulma's parents moved in with Ox King to give the young married couple the house to have their privacy in. He still works and contacts Bulma with projects, they are only a couple of minutes away from each other. Goku stood up to leave and turned off the ATX gravity before taking a shower. The girls were usually the ones who looked after the babies. Mostly Shishi, while the other two would train or work. They all spent the time with their children, making sure to be good parents. Exiting out of the shower with only pants, he went to the kitchen where Shishi was cooking dinner with only an apron. He took a quick grab and walked past her and next to the dual crib to inspect the babies. One was a boy with short black hair and beady black eyes. Next to him was a girl with short blue hair and subsequent blue eyes to match her mom. They were Gohan and Bra respectively. Goku's life has settled in a routine and a quite comfortable one at that. Wake up fully refreshed from the king-sized bed to a long workout session in the morning. Going into the kitchen to see Shishi make breakfast for them and spend time with them and the babies in the afternoon. Next was lunch, then a more serious training session. After that, he would relax, eat dinner, and frolic in bed. Of course, he would get a quick shag or two in between away from the babies. He couldn't resist when they were tempting him so much. At least that is what he blamed and not his Saiyan stamina. The two, knowing how much Goku did it with no restraint, created a piece of tech that made Goku sterile when on. So whenever they were ready for another baby, they would turn it off and go ham. Bulma spent a lot of time on it, making sure that it didn't interfere with the taste and even made it have a hint of whatever she wanted flavor-wise. Neat. Gohan and Bulla were raised basically as twins, even though their looks were more inclined with their mothers. Even growing up, Bulla was more forceful and assertive while Gohan was more laid back and observant. Definitely from their mother's side. It's only 2 years until Raditz arrives and he has already achieved a maximum of 120 GS. However, there is a limit to how much a Saiyan's body can go through by just continuous reps in gravity-intense situation. Not everything is about the body. With all the years of research on Goku's spaceship, they were about to create an ultra-fast spaceship that has been seeing positive results in its testing. With this, they could set a foothold in the environment of space and explore its endless possibilities. Goku normally trains under 80-100 GS as default, as he can still feel growth and only goes higher if he wants to push himself. She was the model housewife looking after the kids and cooking meals. Bulma was the designated breadwinner, except she already has a lot of dough to work with. So she only worked when she found it fun to research something and spent the rest of the time with her family. Goku trained a lot in the morning and noon, but really enjoyed spending time with the girls or play with the kids when the girls needed a break. Even if his ginormous endurance, dealing with kids were still a pain in the neck. Although they never trained, they were still stronger than the average person, making Shi and Bulma break a sweat whenever they tried to deal with them. Especially Bulla, as she threw tantrums while Gohan just stood in the sideline and benefited from it. They would sometimes give in or distract her with food, and Gohan would join in and reap some of the benefits without doing anything. The quiet ones are always the scariest. The thing that really threw the girls off their game was the use of the tails from the infants. With the little appendage sticking out of their butt, they were able to use it to climb easier, grab things better, and really just outwit them when they didn't expect it. The two had a room next to their parents, but like all good parents, they created high-tech soundproof walls to shield their ears every night. He hasn't really seen the others at all with them doing their own things. They only came over to get updated versions of their gravity belts and give and receive updates about life. Goku's fame in this world is on another level compared to the alternative. His internet fame transitioned to ones in par with celebrities after his third appearance in the World Martial Arts Tournament, and his relationship with one of the most powerful women has been revealed. Memes and articles have circulated about him continuously, which made the situation even more surreal. Living a life of comfort like this was something he always dreams of, but he knew that he could not stop, at least for the foreseeable future, about getting stronger. 2 years later. For the last time, Gohan, we were just playing around in the closet eating ice cream. Your Aunt Bulma really enjoys it, so I have to give it to her daily. Now on to the task at hand. The most fun way to fish is to have your tail in the water. Goku and the two kids were out in the forest by a lake fishing. Having some dad time and teach them the Saiyan way to fish was really the only good way to fish. So like this. Bulla dipped her tiny tail in the water, bobbing it back and forth like her dad beside her. Gohan quickly copied Bulla's movement, completely forgetting his suspicion in the conversation before. Man, Bulma really needs to create something to counter that. Alright, I will stand back and watch. When you see the fish about to bite, pull your tail back, and let me do the rest. They had a lot of fun in the lake catching 2 big fish after Goku quickly chopped at them when they came back. He called Nimbus and let the 2 kids ride as he flew side by side. By the time they got the house, the sun was already going down. She expertly whipped up an excellent fried fish dish and started to read the kids a bedtime story to have them sleep. Goku went to the back and looked up in the starry sky wondering if he could see something special. "What's the matter?" His wife came behind him dressed for bed, as in not dressed at all, and asked him with a look of concern. It wasn't every day that he had a serious look on his face like their world is going to be turned upside down. "It's nothing really, we should go to bed." Tomorrow was the day Raditz lands on Earth, at least if his memory serves him correct. His evil blood brother, wonder how he will react to how much stronger he is than him. The kids should be asleep by now, and I think you need all the time you can get if you want to get through a night of Shishi's fetishes. That lady is so sweet on the outside but can really surprise you with how out there she is in the bedroom. A quick peck on the lips and they headed to the bedroom to find Shishi shrunken and tied to a dildo standing erect on the bed. "What the, how did she? Works for me. Dash." Goku woke up with a yawn and stretched his huge arms. He didn't get much sleep last night but they needed to wake up early to meet up with the gang at the Turtle Island. They decided that they need to meet every year and more because of how long the separation has been. This was the final nail in the coffin in confirming that Raditz was coming today. He woke up the sleeping beauties and went off to take a shower. They joined him and after their long shower, Goku got the kids in the shower while the girls did their makeup. After everyone was ready, they headed off in their helicopter. As they were flying to the secluded island, a ship crashed in the middle of nowhere next to a running vehicle. The owner of the vehicle was startled from the incoming foreign object and drove straight to it like any other sane human being. Arriving at the crater that the impact caused, the farmer got the shotgun from his truck and loaded it with bullets. "This alien is going to get a face full of bullets from my trusty shotgun. Marika." Wait, why did I say that? What is Marika? What are these words coming from my mouth? It's the aliens doing. Nothing can survive my double barrel. A humanoid figure walked out of the pod that crashed into the ground and observed his surrounding. He leaped out the hole with his hair flowing majestically with him. He saw the short human and device in his hand. "Stay back, alien, or I will mow you down like in Halo." Raditz wasn't listening to him but instead started to talk to himself. "What is K-Carrot doing? Why hasn't genocide occurred yet?" Speaking like a Nazi, he touched the scouter on his ear and scrolled through the text that displayed it to him. Is this alien crazy or something? Does he not see that loom of death that I have him in right now? His life is literally one trigger away, one click. Raditz finally noticed the guy making him jump back a little. Raditz spat at the man, penetrating his stomach all the way through. He then started to slowly fly up in the sky and follow the power level that was displayed on his screen. "My trusty shotgun, I failed you, follow me to heaven, my love." Dash. The family of 5 finally arrived at the turtle house in a timely fashion and milled out of the ship. Krillin, Oolong, Yamcha, Pua, and Roshi came out of the house to meet up with them and were surprised when they were bulldozed by a small tank. "Bulla, get back here, you don't just do that to everyone you see." Bulla was standing on top of a pile of fallen warriors like a queen and pouted when her mom called her down. Looks like the light training that Goku has put the both of them through has seen some significant improvements. "Fine mommy, you are so boring." She ran up to her mother's side next to Gohan, who just started to apologize to the men that were getting up. She is your daughter Goku. She packs quite the punch. Yamcha really felt that in his ribs when he crashed into the floor. He was feeling extremely embarrassed because he was beaten up by a girl but constellated himself by repeating in his head that it was Goku's child. Yeah, she is really growing fast. She might even be stronger than you. Everyone laughed at Goku's joke. Yamcha laughed so hard that tears started to stream from his face like an ocean. Anyways, I would like to introduce you to my children. The feisty one you saw was Bulla Brief Son and she is Bulma and my daughter. Say hi Bulla. Goku gently patted her shoulder to give her the cue to talk. She gave out a little cute smile and waved to her audience, but they saw differently. That was definitely the smile of the devil. This is Son Gohan. He is a little shy but together they make two peas in a pod. They both turned 4 this year. Gohan waved at the group after getting a nudge from Bulla. Bulma decided to hyphenate their last names together while she just wanted to take the full last name of Goku. This way, it would be easier to identify for others whose child is who. So you have been training them martial arts, Goku? Aren't they a little too young for that kind of stuff? Master Roshi was concerned. Goku's children or not, 4 years of age could leave a strain in their adult bodies if they went through the rigorous martial arts already. Oh no, some light exercises to strengthen their bodies. Besides, they are hybrids so they grow fast and are much stronger than you think. Bulma and she picked up Thea child and started to coddle them in love. Bulla was trying to get out of it, but even with her hybrid powers, she couldn't escape her mother's love. Gohan just sighed and took it. Everyone's sweat dropped at such an extremely different personality by 2 different babies by the same person. Really shows how much the mothers play a role in Thea behaviors. Goku felt something in the back of his spine, a high power that was fast approaching him. He turned to look in its direction, completely missing the ongoing conversation that was happening. Dad. What's wrong? Gohan was the first to notice that his dad stopped talking and everyone looked at Goku. Someone is coming, someone with a high battle power. He is right there, do you see him? Looking at the sky, they all saw an incoming human flying straight toward them with killer intent. Raditz had a smirk on his face as he descended upon the unsuspecting humans. He headed towards the first high power level he spotted on this garbage of a floating rock. A power level of only 500, how cute and adorable. What is the hold up, K-Carrot? Why haven't all these weak vermin been taken care of yet? You take your sweet time before slaughtering them like the sheep that they are. Raditz and Goku were looking at each other, but Goku's eyes weren't fixed on Raditz's like he was. No, what he looked at was the massive widow's peak that was as spiky as his hair. What is it with Saiyan and their exaggerated widow's peak? Wonder how that would feel like. Daddy, Daddy. That man has a tail like us. Bulla was pulling on Goku's pant leg after jumping out of Bulma's arms. Everyone followed her finger and saw the brown tail wrapped around the armor like a belt. Raditz looked down towards the little squeal that he heard and spotted a blue-haired child with a tail of her own swinging back and forth. He was startled before switching to anger on the spot. I see how it is. You are frolicking with the alien natives, is that it? Well, I wouldn't blame you, they do look madly similar to us. You should see what Vegeta does on alien planets, he would invade this place in an instant. Raditz had a look of understanding at Goku's situation, but at the same time, everyone could not follow a word he was saying. So you are a Saiyan, ain't ya? And here I thought they were all but extinct, didn't think that we would meet another so soon. Master Roshi tried to playset the situation. Everyone here heard what was said about the Saiyan race in the book. A pack of cold-blooded killers that conquer whatever they can with carnage. I have been so distracted about this world that I forgot that you didn't do your mission, K-Carrot. Have you gone senile since coming to this planet? I know you are a Saiyan, but who are you? Who am I? You know about Saiyan, so surely you know who I am. Goku shook his head in response. Honestly, even with his otherworldly knowledge, knowing you wasn't really a priority. Well, let me inform you that I am your brother and I am the strongest Saiyan currently alive. Wait, hold on 1 second. Yes, no. I wasn't saying anything bad about you. I'm talking with my brother Kman man. Okay, the scounter on Raditz ear beeped before a transmission was sent to him. From Raditz's reaction and pale face, it wasn't going well. He pressed the button on his scouter and slumped down in defeat. Then he remembered that he was supposed to rope his little brother to their cause. Okay, maybe not the strongest, but I am the second strongest Saiyan alive. Beep asterisk. Third strongest. Beep asterisk. Fourth. Beep asterisk. Fifth, strongest alive, currently. Every time he tried, he got shut down immediately. By the time that he said fifth strongest alive, he sounded so defeated that it wasn't even funny anymore. Wait, did he say 5? Join us to conquer the universe, K-Carrot. With you around, our team will be like the strike teams of the old and we will take planet by planet. Think of everything you can achieve by joining me. I'll pass. Great. Now let us kill these rodents and wait, did you just say no? Yes. Yes, as in you want to come with me, or yes as in you said no? Look Raditz, if you are my brother, why would I want to come with you? You know how embarrassed I will be in front of team members if you were my brother. Older than me but still the weakest link. I will have no reputation. Goku was taking everything one step at a time. His brain improved so much that he was able to banter with Raditz while still be thinking about other stuff at the same time. 5 Saiyans. What could have happened? There is no way that the stuff happening here on Earth was able to change something from happening that allowed 2 new Saiyans to randomly appear. Maybe it could be turtles, even Broly or Paragus. Something or someone brought them in this new timeline, but who? You think you are stronger than me? Don't make me laugh with your measly power level of 500. I doubt you could even scratch me. No, I won't scratch you, in fact, you wouldn't even know how you got down. Then let's fight right now. Raditz power up to his full power, creating a gust of wind originating from him. Grass parted for him, but no one was surprised or scared of the sudden power burst. Even the weak ones were shielded easily by their allies. Let's move somewhere else. Raditz broke dirt and landed a clean punch on Goku's face. It was like hitting an immovable brick wall. His pain receptors were firing off, but Raditz ignored them and pressed further. A kick sweeping towards Goku's chest, followed by a turnaround back fist punch, and lastly a kick upwards on the chin. Everything barely missed by a hair's width, making Goku fly towards the sky at the end of Raditz's combo. How are you so strong? What did they feed you? Raditz followed in pursuit with both hands glowing purple. Double Sunday. An alien called out a day of the week that represented a spurling purple beam. The 2 beams weren't even worth using energy on as he took them head on. The blast resembled a firework going off, sulfur rained down into the ocean. That's right. Strongest Saiyan, still got it. Not quite. Goku didn't mean to interrupt Raditz like dance, but he really didn't need to watch it any longer. His strongest attack neutralized without even doing anything. He dropped down in defeat, landing too close to the others for any comfort. Everyone's suspicions came into fruition as Raditz snatched Bulla and Gohan before they could dash off and hide behind some people. This is your last chance, K-Carrot. I have your little critters right here, so if you don't join us I will make them wish death. Before anyone could intervene, Bulla twisted in the shirt that she was being held by and bit on Raditz's hand. He nearly dropped her from the extreme pain but was able to remain steady. Gohan, who was grabbed by the tail, swung himself over and poked both of his uncle's eyes in a good old scissors fashion. Don't kidnap me, perverted uncle. Not being able to take it anymore, he retracted his arms and rubbed his eyes from the irritation. Bulla ran behind Bulma, shortly followed by Gohan. By the time Raditz was able to open his eyes, he looked up and saw Goku's soulless eyes roaming his entire body like he was a prey waiting to be jumped. Oh shit! Dash! Raditz woke up to what he thought was a dream. They were sitting inside talking to each other and enjoying the lunch that was cooked. The kids were playing and adults were talking. It was almost like a nightmare to the battle-hungry Saiyan. Hum hum hum. Ah, you're awake. Sorry, I had to tie you up, we put a gag on you, sorry about that too, but we had to do it for the plan to work. She apologized to him and helped him sit up from his fetal position on the floor. Then she removed the gag and allowed him to speak. K-Carrot, what are you doing? If you don't release me, Vegeta will come and save me. I am a very important asset to their team. Wait, where is my scouter? He didn't feel anything in his ear and frantically looked around for his tech. He found it by the kids on the table with the back panels and some cables leaking out. Oh, your scouter. I heard so much about it, but finally able to research the real thing is tremendous. Bulma talked this time, with her extensive knowledge from Goku's spaceship and the Saiyan book. Knowing how the scouter worked was a piece of cake. Vegeta. Vegeta, help me please. He was pleading for help until the gag was forcibly placed back into his mouth by Goku. Goku made the shushing motion and signaled Bulma to turn on the scouter. It took a couple of seconds before a voice came through the small device. Raditz, do you read me? What is going on? Tell me right now or I swear to God I will kill you right now. A sound of a gruff voice came over. It was time for a little play. Oh, brother, I get what you are saying now. That Vegeta character seems like such a loser. Who is that? Is that K-Carrot? He is a midget in size and strength. Seems like the Prince of Saiyan is a joke. Too far. Raditz tried so hard to use his powers to struggle free. However, the rope was made out of ki from Goku's original move, making it impossible to break out of with his current power level. Even the gag was infused with ki, not allowing Raditz to break it with anything. They didn't really have the best item to gag him within the Kame house, so they settled with the next best thing. Master Roshi's used sock. A little crusty, from stains, but it works nonetheless. This is the last straw. I am going to tear you a new one when I find you. Raditz was on the floor weeping. Stuck between certain death and apparently the psychopath that is his brother. I bet everything about him small then. Bet people don't even notice when he is there. That's it. I am coming right now and I am going to kill you. Nappa, ready the pods right now. And the voice call got cut out, cementing the plan to lure them to come over here. She removed the gag, allowing Raditz to catch he breathe after all his muffled shouting. Why did you do that? Do you want us all to die? Goku smiled in response. All Saiyans need to be here right now. He needed to confirm the identity of the two unknown Saiyans and have them here without them knowing about the Dragon Balls. We have been lied to, or at least you have been. Reaching behind his back, he pulled out a book and placed it in front of Raditz's face. It's time for you to learn, brother. Where did you obtain this K-carrot? This information could revive our race to the fullest. Raditz shouted in excitement. His hands were trembling as he read the copied version of Science in a nutshell written by the famous author Shenlong himself. Goku didn't trust him fully yet, so he had the book copied and redacted the transformation section of the book. He needs Raditz to convert before sensitive information like that is leaked. It went from one of excitement to pure fury as he read the downfall of Science. He banged his fist on the table like a seasoned reader would when one of their favorite characters dies. That bastard Frieza. He told us that a meteor destroyed planet Vegeta. I should have known that it was too much of a coincidence that they all died when they were called over. I need to tell Vegeta. Raditz left the book on the table and rushed to contact his leader with the scouter. He was stopped by a palm on his chest. It was forceful but had no ill intent laced within. Stop, we cannot tell the other Saiyans about this yet. What are you talking about? This is vital information that they need to know right now. If you do not let me, you are a traitor of your own race. We need to destroy that Frieza before he sees us coming. Raditz's face was twisted with frustration and hate. Everyone he knew was on that planet and he has been serving the one who caused it all. He would rather die than grovel again. If those Saiyans are the same as you, then even more of a reason to not tell them. If you tell them now, they would only switch their destination to Frieza and try to fight him and die. And that is if they even believe you. We need them to come here and talk about the plan to deal with Frieza. Raditz calmed down a bit from Goku's logic. More and more he saw their father in him, but he ignored it and went back to the table to read the rest of the book. Goku was broken from his deep thought when Gohan was placed on one shoulder and Bulla on the other. The girls showed their concerns by hugging his arms to show him that they were with him. In the background, Krillin was chewing on his shirt with jealously written everywhere. He was sobbing profusely, getting it on Yamcha's shoe that was beside him. It's not fair. I didn't realize how lucky he was until now. Damn that Goku having girls all over him. I want a girlfriend. Ha ha ha. Yamcha rubbed the back of his neck in awkwardness. Ran Fan, who came in later, was staring at him, challenging him to say something. It's not all good, Krillin, save yourself. Dash. What on Vegeta are you doing? Raditz saw Goku coming out of the gravity chamber dripping wet. He assumed he was training, but what could possibly push him so far that it would make him sweat? It has been 1 week since Raditz arrived and he has been living in a small house that they placed near Capsule Corporation. Ever since he got here, he has been exposed to Goku's enormous feral power. Someone about it seemed so raw and unbridled. By being exposed to his power, he lost all resistance and decided to keep his head low. So far, this planet has been so peaceful and calm, making Raditz feel uncomfortable, as ever since all he has known all his life is violence. With Goku's watchful eye, he has been warned that even with blood relations, he would not hesitate to kill him if he threatened the people around him. Oh, this. Yeah, I guess I haven't told you about this place yet. This is where I train, my wife Bulma made it. It's named the Gravity Chamber. Raditz stepped inside the chamber and looked around curiously. He saw a panel on the left and headed towards it. On the display that it showed, it had the word normal. Next to it, there was a keypad ambiguously staring at him. He pressed the 2 button and the words normal changed to 2x. He pressed enter and felt the environment shift around him. He felt twice as heavier as before and his movement was slightly slower than before. I see, this doohickey changes the gravity in this room to whatever I choose. Ha ha. This is but no matter. I lived during the time of planet Vegeta as a child and experienced that it is 10x heavier than Earth. Considering my strength, I bet I could even double that. Raditz grinned evilly and looked at the panel as the only reason K-Carrot got stronger than him. He keyed in 20 and pressed enter. Instantly and not surprisingly, his entire body slammed face first onto the floor, unable to move. Oh, brother. Dad, Dad, Dad. Bulla and Gohan ran up to Goku and tackled him onto the ground. With a set schedule, it was easy to know when their father was done with his training and got the first jump on him. We want to train with you. Mommy and Auntie have been forcing us to study all day. They held on to him tight as if they just experienced the worst torture available. Math. Hey kids. Let me up, your uncle has got him into some trouble, I need to help him. They both got off and looked into the open gravity chamber room. They saw their uncle's hair digging into him like it was out for revenge. Laughing erupted from the 2 small children and kept going even when Goku entered the room and turned off the multiplied gravity. Standing up as fast they have seen someone stand up in their life, they continued relentlessly by pointing at him. You little rascals. Raditz ran up to the little *TS full of anger. They saw him coming and split down the hallways to lose him. He gave chase as they yelled across the house, making quite the disturbance. Dash. What happened? I sensed a disturbance in the force. Goku was standing behind a gentleman that was sitting atop a huge rock in the middle of nowhere. Okay Obi, want to hear the news while facing away from me? Giving him no time to respond, he continued his dialogue. A new player in the game. He is also a Saiyan, my brother, he came from space but he is staying with us for now. There was a slight shift in his demeanor as his rival talked about aliens. That's it. That is all that happened. Well, from what he told me, there is an evil tyrant out in space that eradicated my race. He is apparently the Emperor of the Cosmos. When the remaining Saiyans arrive, we are going into space to take revenge. So what? What does anything have to do with me? If you came out here to warn me not to take over the Earth while you are gone, then I make no promises. Who wouldn't pick at food while the scarecrow goes away? I want you to come with me, Piccolo. Piccolo finally turned his head and looked at Goku with only his left side showing. Don't trust me, eh? I wouldn't either. You will have to force me to board that ship with you. He had no power in this strange relationship of theirs. All bark no bite. We can find out more about your race, where you are from. Piccolo finally turned around fully to face the *T-filled liar that is Son Goku. What did you say? More about my race. I am a demon. One of a kind. Do you think I came from space? Even if I did, how would we even find it in the vastness of space travel? Agitated as Piccolo was, Goku pressed on. I wouldn't be so sure about that. I've talked to my brother and he knows your race. Come with me and once we get information about where it is from Frieza, we can visit there if you'll like to. You don't have to decide now, I'll contact you later in the year and see your response. Here, I got the latest one for you. It goes up to 80x. With that, Goku was done with the conversation. He tossed a new and improved gravity belt to the young Namekian. He was about to take off before he heard Piccolo call him out. What is your goal? Helping me get stronger through the years. For such a simple question, one would expect a simple answer. Instead, all he got was a shrug to his name. Dust flew with him as he headed towards his home, leaving Piccolo to think all for himself. You are a weird one, Son Goku. Dash. I absolutely cannot do that, Goku. Please. I need to get stronger. Training my body is not enough, you got to know how to get more techniques and stronger with ki. Goku was practically on the ground groveling at the old god like a beggar. Well, I know one way, but I am not sure if it will work. I might even lose my godhood if something goes wrong. Kami regretted letting in for even a little bit. One look at Goku's big monkey eyes made him conceded instantly. Let me tell you that it will be a long and arduous journey, and you will be gone from your loved ones for a long time. Do you still want to go? Yes, I will. Goku left Kami's lookout and went back home. He spent one last long night with his wives and kissed them good night before getting ready to leave. You going to be gone for less than a year to train? Just for those Saiyan guys? I thought you said you would take care of them. Stay here with us. She didn't want Goku to go again. She thought that once Goku became a father, he wouldn't do those multiple-year trips to hone himself anymore and do it near them from now on. So far so true, until now, that is. Piccolo wouldn't know that he left, and even if he did, once he comes back, his neck would be ripped off if he tried to rule the world. The same with Raditz, except with him, Goku put a lock on the gravity chamber, only letting Bulma open it. If he wanted to train, he would have to basically be Bulma and She's slave until he comes back. I will get a lot stronger. Who knows what might happen? I promise I will be back before the Saiyans come. He then leaned to give Bulma her kiss when she also asked a question. Where are you going? I am going to King Kai's. That's it, guys. Hope you like the video. Like, share and subscribe the channel, and also make sure you tell me your recommendation in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching.